In part 2 of the IELTS speaking test, the examiner will give you a topic card. You have to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. And you will get 1 minute to prepare. To get a good score for this task, it's important to manage your time well. In this video, I'm going to show you some effective time management tips. Preparation time. The examiner will give you a pencil and some paper to make notes while you prepare. You should make notes that you find useful in English or in your native language. So here are some tips for making notes. Read the task card carefully. If you don't understand any part of it, ask the examiner. Remember, it's okay to ask for clarification. You will not lose points. Think of something to describe as quickly as you can. Write down all the vocabulary related to the topic that you can think of. Make notes for each part of the task. Think of 2 or 3 things to say for each prompt and write down words that will remind you of what to say. When your preparation time has finished, you are ready to begin talking. It helps to have an idea how to start. In this way, you won't hesitate at the beginning, and you will be able to manage your time much better. The easiest way to begin speaking is to use the structure "I'm going to" or "I've decided to." Look at this topic card and then watch the different ways the candidate can begin her answer.
I'm going to talk about my uncle. I'm going to describe my uncle. I've decided to talk about my uncle. The person I'm going to describe is my uncle.
You can also begin your answer by rephrasing the instruction on the card. Pay attention to the grammatical structure used in the first sentence of the cue card. You can try to reflect it.
My university professor has had a very important influence on my life.
Remember that if you are aiming for a very high band, you need to show that you can sometimes paraphrase and use synonyms effectively. So if you are confident, you can try to paraphrase the cue card instruction.
My uncle has influenced me in a major way. My uncle has really shaped my outlook on life. A key influence on my life has been my uncle.
Okay, so you have made notes and you have your first sentence ready. It's time to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. On the cue card, there are usually 4 points that you need to talk about. There are 3 short points, which answer the questions who, where, why, what, how long, and so on. And there's one longer part which asks you to explain something. After you have completed the task, the examiner will ask you a short follow-up question. When you practice this task, it helps to set yourself a time limit for each part. For example, 10 to 20 seconds for the first point, 10 to 20 seconds for the second point, 10 to 20 seconds for the third point, and 30 seconds to 1 minute for the final part. Here are some tips. Follow the order on the prompt card. Try to say 1 or 2 sentences for each of the first 3 parts. Give a few quick examples where relevant. Don't forget the last part of the task. If you feel you are going to finish in less than 1 minute and you have nothing else to say, you could try to use conversation fillers to keep talking. If you have spoken for at least 1 minute and you feel that you have nothing more to say and your fluency is getting worse, just stop talking and give the card back to the examiner. It's also a good idea to show the examiner that you have finished by saying, "That's it," or "That's all I have to say," or "That's that." When the examiner asks you the follow-up question, answer with 1 or 2 sentences. Now watch this candidate and try to observe the tips that she followed.
I'm going to talk about an activity that I really enjoy, jogging. I go jogging in a park which is about 2 kilometers from my home. I go jogging there because the air is a bit cleaner than in my neighborhood. I usually run for about 4 to 5 kilometers, and I always go by myself. I try to do this activity every morning, although Occasionally, I get lazy and decide to skip it. In the spring, I sometimes go jogging in the evening because the weather is fresh. I really enjoy this activity because it keeps me fit. On top of that, because my job can be very stressful, sometimes jogging also helps me to relax and think more clearly. What else? I suppose it also motivates me to stay healthy in general. For example, it motivates me to eat a balanced diet. So I'll recommend this activity to anyone. That's it. It's quite popular, I think. I often see people jogging in the park, especially on Saturdays.